For this mental prepisode, we're going to talk about creating a quit date. This is arguably one of the most important tools that you can have on your belt. And while we often try to quit things on New Year's, that might not be the best time to do it. And it might be. It varies person to person. For me, both the times that I've quit long term, both what you've heard in this podcast as well as the time that I quit for the entirety of 2017, those were done by starting on New Year's, and it worked well for me, and I can explain why in just a minute, but that does not mean it's going to be ideal for you. You really need to take time and look at a calendar to observe the personal events that occur in your life, such as birthdays, holidays. The goal is essentially to find a 30-day window free of social gatherings where people may smoke or drink alcohol. This allows you to have less exposure to the activity of smoking, especially in a social environment. It is recommended that your choice be after a major function, but not too close, because high social environment is going to equate to more smoking than usual, maybe. And that equates to a higher nicotine level in your system, and that's going to make it harsher with the withdrawals during a cold turkey quitting strategy. So you do want to give yourself a little bit of time for the nicotine levels to go back down, unless during that social event you just didn't smoke or you tried to reduce it. So if you want to do it the day after an event, highly recommend at that event you don't go bonkers and just smoke like crazy. Bring a limited amount, a very limited amount that you think is more proportionate to the time rather than proportionate to the amount of cigarettes you usually would smoke at a gathering like that. Now for me, the reason why it worked best for me in New Year's is all the family functions are pretty much out of the way. All the big gatherings for my friend groups are pretty much out of the way and done for the holiday season, and they're all wrapped up after New Year's Day. So for me, the timing is perfect. I do have a birthday in the month of January, but it is my own. The other birthdays that are in January are not big party gatherings, so that I have currently in my life. Now that could change, but as far as reflecting when I'm quitting, I have pretty much a free January, so it also gives me an excuse to stay away from a lot of people for a substantial amount of time. I don't want to be around my smoking friends when I'm trying to quit smoking. It's like the worst thing ever. That is putting a grilled or freshly baked, roasted turkey in front of a starving person. Okay, the temptation is real. And we're talking about one of the most addictive substances on the planet, one of the hardest things to tell your mind no to. And it also is one of the most potent things that can get your mind to turn against you. The addiction is exceptionally powerful. The last thing you want to do is be around people that smoke. So I bid adieu to all my friends for those weeks, and it also saves them the heartache of having me flip out on them if I'm having some kind of angry rage going on from the lack of nicotine in my system, which can be very, very real. Smokers can become exceptionally cranky from what their mind and body goes through during the process of putting down an addiction and walking away from it, especially if it's cold turkey. So it's saving your friends a little bit of grief there. So you may want to look at your own calendar in your own life, maybe pick a gathering that you know for certain there's going to be that kind of event, but it has a nice stretch of time afterwards to where you can enjoy time without people and without the pressure of being in an environment where you're trying to at least get the nicotine out of your system. And the reason why I say environment that involves drinking alcohol is because that's one of the major, if you drink and you're a smoker, that's one of the hardest things to unpair. And from my personal experience, you need at least 2 months without smoking any cigarette at all before you can pick up your drink again and not have a problem with drinking without the smoking. That is going to be a super challenging thing because drinking oftentimes leads people to be more reckless and make a little bit more careless decisions. So there's a chance that if you're drinking, you might just say, oh, what the heck, and take a cigarette from one of your friends, not realizing what kind of damage you're doing. So I advise being very mindful of that, and that's going to be a struggle if you drink and smoke. That will probably always be a challenge, but you definitely want to give yourself a 2-month window. Get yourself used to the fact that you're not a smoker anymore before you try drinking, because it's going to end up causing a situation, an opportunity for a relapse. So that is it for creating a quit date, and we'll see you guys in just a second with the next mental preparation episode.